Evey emerges as necessary counterpoint. Fear, conformism, attempt to survive in a world where courage gets punished. Orphan of state violence, parents killed for daring to resist. She is Nietzsche's last man, head down, accepting, doing what she's told. She is the fertile ground where the idea will germinate. But the idea doesn't germinate gently. V could save her simply, hide her, protect her. Instead, he plunges her into fire through water. Wait, it wasn't him? It was the state. He says that after. But it was him who built the cell, orchestrated the interrogations, let Valerie's letter slip under the door. V used Valerie's death as pedagogical tool. This should horrify us. And it does. But V for Vendetta does something disturbing. It makes us understand, not justify, understand. Evie's prison is a violent baptism. She loses hair, identity, comfort, past, endless interrogations. Through her, the film shows that nobody is born free. Freedom is birth. She loses everything until only naked choice remains: betray or die. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Nietzsche wrote that knowing it's a lie most of the time. What doesn't kill usually leaves scar, trauma, damage that doesn't heal. But Evey isn't most of the time. V saw in her the spark, potential beyond fear. In the crucial moment when they offer salvation in exchange for betrayal, she chooses death. She prefers dying free to living enslaved. Do what you want with me. I'm not afraid anymore. V frees her and shortly after reveals it was him. Evey reacts and hits him, screams, stumbles out breathless as if suddenly being trapped in underground darkness became unbearable. V speaks, careful words about lies that reveal truths, about hatred that builds worlds, about running an entire lifetime. He evokes her father. Artists use lies to tell the truth. But Evey barely listens. The underground suffocates. The walls close in. She needs out. Then she climbs to the rooftop, and the torrential rain becomes pure rebirth. She opens her arms. Naked, free. Water is symbol of regeneration. Nakedness is death of the social ego. Rain washing not just the grime, but the entire history. V was forged by flames, Evey by water. He destroys, she continues, together, two elements of the same revolution. This is the most beautiful and disturbing moment of the film. Evey isn't a follower, she's continuity. Someone who understands that freedom isn't absence of pain, but choice in the face of it. Pedagogy or abuse, liberation or manipulation. The film doesn't answer. V never doubts, never hesitates, never asks if he had the right to do this to another human being. That absolute certainty terrifies and works. V isn't an ethics professor, he's a catalyst. His function isn't morally impeccable, it's to break fear, and he breaks it. Evey returns to the gallery after the baptism, reborn but furious, betrayed but free. The contradiction bleeds. V turns on the jukebox and the music plays. Evey watches. There's something different about him. Something she didn't see before. Or maybe it was always there, hidden under the constant performance. Then she returns Valerie's letter, convinced it was just staging. V doesn't respond with words. He leads her to a door she never saw open. The memorial. Photos of Valerie and the film she acted in, preserved objects, roses, the same roses she cultivated, the sanctuary where V keeps the memories of those who died in Larkhill. The letter wasn't a tool. It was testimony. Valerie existed, loved, died, and V carried that for 20 years, not as weapon, but as reminder that there's still something human under the idea. This entire sequence is lyrical mirror of what remains of humanity in V, a man who destroyed the world to free others, but who no longer fits in it. Evey understands. Doesn't forgive immediately, but understands. And perhaps understanding matters more than forgiveness. While he avenges, she understands. While he lights the fuse, she learns to hold the match. V doesn't want to be remembered. He wants to be replaced. Evey is that living replacement. V isn't just philosopher. He's guerrilla. His mask is anarchism's visual manifesto. Centralized power is inevitable corruption. He doesn't want to occupy the throne. He wants to destroy it. V doesn't fight to replace Sartre with a better leader. He fights to end the very idea of leader. V doesn't offer constitution, doesn't propose alternative government. His function is primitive, demolish what's rotten. But there's something subtler, more dangerous. V doesn't convert crowds with inflammatory speeches, doesn't distribute pamphlets, doesn't organize cells. V infects. Each act is symbolic virus planted in collective consciousness. Old Bailey exploding while people watch, seed. Gordon murdered for having forbidden art, seed. Evey reborn under rain, seed. Mask multiplying, seed germinating. Governments order, revolutionaries invite. V plants seed and waits for it to germinate. An entire year. Time enough for the idea to contaminate, multiply, become inevitable. Chain reaction, ideological domino. One person sees, questions, remembers they were afraid, and contaminates another, and another, until thousands. Soldiers hesitate because they can't distinguish the enemy. Everyone is, no one is. Fascism controls through fear. V responds with more contagious idea. You don't need to be afraid. Ideas grow in silence, underground, invisible, until they sprout on thousands of faces. To liberate, he dominates. To teach freedom, he kidnaps. To purify, he kills. Paradox of the revolutionary who uses the tools he fights, not because he wants to, but because they're the only ones in a world without dialogue. For the government, terrorist. For the population, freedom fighter. For Alan Moore, romantic anarchist. The film makes us root for V. Applaud when Old Bailey explodes. Feel catharsis when Parliament turns to dust. Why? Because V is terrorist against tyranny, violence with a different vector. The corpse doesn't care about the political motivations of whoever pulled the trigger. Some criticize V for Vendetta, for the ambiguity. They're wrong. Ambiguity is the point. It's not apology for violence, it's rhetorical confrontation. Forcing the audience to ask, when, if ever, is revolutionary violence justifiable? V doesn't argue. He acts. Let Evey and us decide. Perhaps his greatest wisdom is this: not trying to justify himself, simply acting and letting history judge. A year has passed. The revolution the Evey ignited no longer belongs to him. The symbol survives, but the man doesn't. V sits among shadows of art and pain, no speech, no performance, just the clock that no longer marks anything. The body poisoned by Larkhill claims its price. Each day is overdue loan. He won't see November 6th dawn, and perhaps he doesn't need to. The music plays. I Found a Reason, by Cat Power. Sound invading the silence like memory of life. V doesn't need to look. He feels she's returned. Evey is there. Not because she needs to be, because she chose to. It's one of the rare moments when V doesn't act as symbol, but as someone at the edge of the end. There. He's neither avenger nor martyr. He's a tired survivor who understands that every flame, to illuminate the world, needs to consume itself first. For the first time, He doesn't need to declaim verses to exist. Her presence is enough. Evey could have left, free finally, but she returns, because she understood what he always knew. Some things need to end, and V won't end alone. Outside, the vox populi remains extinguished, a mute people who confuse order with security and silence with peace. The world fears chaos, but forgets that chaos is the womb of all change. Evey doesn't inherit the vengeance. She inherits the gesture. She's the one who'll restore to the people's voice what had been silenced. She's the one who'll return to the street the sound of insurrection. The trap is set. Creedy brings Sutler as bargaining chip. But what emerges isn't dictator. It's pathetic creature, scared, diminished. Without bunker, without cameras, Sutler is just terrified human before what he doesn't understand. He begs, tries to negotiate. V doesn't respond. The silent presence already says everything. You were never powerful, you were just loudspeaker. And loudspeakers don't bleed, men do. Sutler dies not as emperor, but as revealed coward. His death isn't epic, it's pathetic, as it should be. Creedy realizes he was used. Orders, fire. Dozens of bullets tear through V's body. He should fall, but keeps walking. It's not superpower. It's will-fulfilling function until the last second. Body obeying beyond limits because the mission isn't finished yet. He dances between knives, movement choreographed for 20 years, each gesture precise, each strike lethal. Creedy's men fall, Creedy stands alone, facing the mask, trying to understand the impossible. 20 years of preparation, from prey to hunter, from victim to embodied justice, from number in Larkhill to bulletproof idea. Creedy dies, and only then V allows the body to yield. He walks to Evey, falls into her arms. Blood finally defeats will. V doesn't choose to die to escape reconstruction. He simply has no more time. Evey could remove the mask. She's alone. No one would see. But she understands. Removing the mask would destroy the idea. Reduce V to specific man with specific face. Kill the symbol to resurrect the corpse. Evey chooses to let V die as idea. Preserve the verb, not the noun. V is tragic hero in Greek mold, driven by higher justice, condemned by his own virtue. That's why he needs to die at the exact moment, so the idea breathes without body. So the mask can be worn by anyone. Who destroys can't inhabit what they build. They're incompatible roles. Fire cleans the ground. Water makes germinate. Asking fire to also build is asking it to stop being fire. Parliament explodes with the train loaded with explosives, gliding to the sound of Tchaikovsky. Fireworks illuminate London. People watch, some horrified, many ecstatic, some crying. V's anarchist dream becomes concrete. Destroy power structures and let people choose what comes next. Not install new leader. Just open space and see what grows in the ruins. Is it lunatic? Maybe. Can it end in chaos? Absolutely. But it can also end in something better. People who learned not to kneel. The final scene, thousands advancing with masks while soldiers hesitate, is V's legacy. V for Vendetta doesn't just speak about politics. It speaks about us, about the temptation to surrender freedom in exchange for security, about the comfort of obeying. More deeply, it speaks about art's power to remember what fear tries to erase. V isn't a man, he's everyone. Everyone who is reduced to numbers, everyone thrown into mass graves, everyone who suffered in Auschwitz, in gulags, in re-education camps, in dungeons of nameless dictatorships. V is a romantic anarchist. Anarchy not as chaos, but as each one being master of their own destiny. But for each one to be master, they first need to destroy whoever proclaims themselves master of all. V is the hand that pushes the tyrant from the chair. The rest is with whoever stays alive. V isn't personal hero, he's historical debt being paid. He's all the dead acting through a body that refused to die. V is the point where Nietzsche meets Bakunin, Sartre meets Prometheus, chaos meets poetry. Philosophy that bleeds stops being text and becomes explosion. But explosions don't build, they just open space.